just told me I need a permit to use the city outlet. And then he took off. I was thinking maybe you are knowledgeable enough about it to explain to him the difference between public space and city-owned property, which is not open to the public, okay? Because this is public space.
Okay.
It's not publicly accessible city property, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now he's telling me that I can't be using the electricity over here. All right, the U.S. Supreme Court says that if an electrical outlet is located in a public space and there is no physical barrier to its use, such as a cover, that it's as public as the public space.
What type of cover? Like an outlet cover or like a wall or like, what do you mean cover?
I don't know whether they specified that, okay? I notice most of these outlets are taped.
Do you know that
they have a piece of tape over them?
Do you know that
this one doesn't?
Do you know the reference on that? What was it you just stated? The Supreme Court.
Yeah, the U.S. Supreme Court says that anything located in a public space, unless it has a physical barrier to its use, is as public as the public space in which it's located.
You know the reference off the top of your head?
No, I don't.
No. Okay, so as far as we know, or as far as we've been made to enforce, there's no public outlets that are just accessible to everyone. Like the city doesn't have that, because even these vendors that pay their money to come out here and sell their products or do whatever they're doing, their permit specifically says that they have to bring their own power source. So.
Well, that's with their permit, okay? I'm not going to get into the fact that having vendors in the park violates the city charter because of the deed restriction on this property.
Okay, so all these things.
Okay, but
it's not that I don't believe you, but I would love to look it up. I mean, it's too bad that you don't know the reference, so I could, because I'm all about facts.
Yeah.
Because people say whatever they say, but
yeah,
I want to see it myself. As far as I know, we are told to enforce that people are not to be using these outlets. Because if you think about it, electricity costs money, right?
I know.
That money's coming from somewhere. I don't think the city has budgeted.
Maintenance of the public parks costs money. It costs money to mow the lawn. You know, I mean.
Everything costs money.
So,
I'm gonna try to look into that, but I mean, we've been told to enforce that no one's supposed to be using these outlets. So.
All right, well, see, they have outlets that stick up out of the bushes on the center divider on Washington Avenue.
Okay.
And several years ago, I was using one of them to charge my phone.
Okay.
And I got into this with the police about it, and they got the city to put a cover on the outlet.
What kind of cover? Like a locks cover?
Just
a little plastic thing.
A little plastic, thing that.
Okay. Like
okay.
A thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to move something in order to access it,
whether or not it's locked.
I don't know what the Supreme Court ruling is on that, but I accepted the fact. I didn't use it anymore after they put a cover on it and the cover didn't lock.
Okay.
Okay. They did the same thing in Museum Park. They have those outlets sticking up out of the ground,
on 21st.
And they put covers on them.
I saw that.
Yeah.
But we're told to enforce that too, same thing. So I mean here.
Well, those outlets have covers on them. Okay, so some of these trees have a piece of tape over the end of the over the outlet.
Those
so
outlets more or less are permanent fixtures. I mean, these are like Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Realistically, we're not going to cover all these outlets. It's just a design flaw that the ones they chose happen to have open outlets at the end. But I mean.
Well, what are you going to say? Is a flaw in the Supreme Court ruling that didn't allow for temporary use
That's
or
like-
design flaws?
So, and let's say the example you use the museum, right? Let's say one of those covers breaks for whatever reason. Some kid kicked it off, right? Is it now a free for all because the cover's broken? According to what you're saying?
Until it's replaced,
Really? Okay.
yeah, according to that Supreme Court ruling, yes. According to the Supreme Court's definition of public space.
All right, I'm gonna look into that because, like I said, I like to know. But in the meantime, we're still gonna come and tell you, hey, don't charge your phone there because that's what we've been instructed to do. So, but I'm gonna look into that more. Hopefully, if you find it before I do, let me know because I'd like to read that in
let
detail.
us all know.
I'd like to read it in detail. So, you good?
And
We're at
yeah, and the sections of the city ordinance that the other guy gave me the other night when you were there with him.
I was there.
Yeah,
It was invalid.
two of those sections that none of the four sections that he wrote down for me deal with anything
He gave
like
you,
this.
He gave you 86-145, correct?
No.
the one for vendors.
No, he
or
did not.
performers or something.
No, what? I think I still have it in my pocket.
Yeah.
He gave me 86, 18.
He gave you
32.
86-145.
He. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one right here.
And I just told you right now that you need a permit, correct? To access the power source, correct?
Yeah, but if it's if it's a public space, then you can't require the permit. If you put a cover on it, then you can require a permit to move the cover. You see?
And that's based on this Supreme Court
Supreme Court ruling.
Right.
that we are.
Now, what he wrote down was Section 82, Section 86, Section 18, and Section 22.
A lot of sections.
Okay? And I checked all four of
I
them.
just told you 86. I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
a little further and I gave you 145.
Okay.
Okay? And that says that you need a permit to access the city power outlets. That you cannot have.
Well, see, this is the difference. You're saying city power outlets, okay? And if it's located in a public space, it's not a city outlet by the definition of public. It is a public outlet,
Okay.
okay? And if it's covered, then you can require a permit for its use. But if it's not covered, then it's as public as the public space in which it's located.
All right. But like how my colleague said, we'll continue to address it until we find out what your Supreme Court ruling says compared to what we say.
If you can find it in black and white and you can show me, all I can do is shut up and leave you alone, right? Like if it's like, oh, it says it right here, I can't argue against the Supreme Court ruling, obviously, and I'll push it up to like the parks directors or whatever, and we'll leave you alone. But until then, we're gonna do what we do. I'm gonna try to find it too. Like I said, I'm looking for it right now.
Okay, if you go to the Supreme Court website and you look up public space,
But it could even
it
be
will come up.
a state. It could be something like a statute or Miami-Dade ordinance as well.
You said Supreme Court of the United States.gov, right?
Yeah,
All right.
and look up public space
Public space.
and check the various rulings on public space. I'm not sure which one it was, but
I'm gonna be searching for like another hour or so. But I'm gonna head out. We've been on one side of the park for a while, so I'm gonna go make sure the other side's not burning down. If I get something, I'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. They pulled over a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I saw.
Like a blocker plate. Oh yeah, we're not done.
well, yeah, but you also have to understand that the onus is on you here to prove to me that it's not applicable. You see, I'm the public. I'm using space I own. I mean, if you guys get me cited for doing it, then I can file a constitutional lawsuit, you know.
Or wouldn't you
But-
just like fight it in court and not pay the citation? Because it would be, what's the word? Not fraudulent, but like,
I guess invalid.
yeah. Yeah. But there's officers that, right, not mind beach officers, but there's officers that, you know, might cite people on things that aren't necessarily true, or
Oh yeah, I mean I've been arrested for not
Whatever.
breaking the law several
when it
times.
goes to court, it gets thrown out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the case. But us as the enforcement capacity here, if we're to tell you that it's, you know, you can't use it, then that's pretty much where that lies.
Okay, so you're saying you do have enforcement capacity.
We do, for city and county ordinances, yes.
He was telling me the other day, and I have it on film, that you guys are not law enforcement officers. You're just ambassadors, and that you're. He's just advising me.
It's somewhere in the middle. See, we're not law enforcement. Law enforcement officers are sworn, right? We're not sworn law enforcement officers. You know, we enforce ordinances. So
We're
nothing
we're
criminal.
ambassadors of the city.
Well, if you're enforcing an ordinance, that makes you law enforcement according to the Supreme Court's definition of law enforcement.
Okay, but we're not
Okay.
sworn law enforcement officers. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
So you still have you're saying you enforce city ordinances, so you have the power to issue a civil citation. Huh?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You good?
Okay. We'll continue.
A Parks Department employee has the power to issue a civil citation? Unbelievable.